Hyundai has an all-new second-generation Palisade. I'm here to tell you all about it. Good news, there's a hybrid powertrain now and a new off-road version. I'm Tom Volk, and this is the new 2026 Palisade. Hyundai has brought me to his studio in Los Angeles, California for this first look. This is a preview. It's not a review. We're not allowed to drive these vehicles. But if you're in the market for a three-row crossover, you might want to pay attention. Hyundai has brought very early pre-production XRT Pro and Calligraphy hybrid models in from South Korea, where Palisade will be made. Expect the V6 to appear in showrooms early summer, the hybrid in fall. I'll use video that I shot as much as possible, relying on some of Hyundai's handout because I had just 30 minutes with each vehicle. Styling is more formal than the first Palisade. Some might see Land Rover cues. In person, it makes its own statement. It looks upmarket.
It's simplicity. Simplicity and timelessness. This is something that is very difficult to achieve. But when you look at the new Palisade's exterior styling from the side view, for example, we don't really have these like set jagged lines or busy character lines. It's very simple. In the previous generation, if you remember, we had these really striking vertical headlight signatures for DRLs. We kept that graphic, but we wanted to make it even more higher technology feeling, if you like. So we maintained the verticality of the headlight signature, but it's emitted in a completely different way. So you have these silver blocks, we call it the matrix headlights. When you're turning the headlights on, it just emits this really futuristic kind of a solid white. It changes the color to amber completely, and acting as a turn signal. The chrome trim that's on top of the windshield, for example, it wraps around the whole car and it drops down in the D-pillar in a really striking fashion. And that gives it that unique character from the side view. When it's driving by, that's the first graphic that you're going to notice and be like, oh my God, I saw something new and different.
A design element that I like, the D-pillar and the base of the roof rack flow into each other. Generation 2 is bigger, 2.5 inches longer, with a wheelbase up by 2.7 inches.
You'll notice this the most in the second row seat, perhaps, where the rear wheel is sitting farther back, meaning the second row passenger has more legroom pitch than ever before.
One of the common complaints of three-row SUVs is they get lousy fuel economy, right? Palisade is now available with a hybrid powertrain, and Hyundai is very proud of what they call the triple-triple. Over 300 horsepower, over 30 miles per gallon, and 3 rows. The only one in class to achieve that. The 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid powertrain should have 329 horsepower and 339 pound-feet of torque, making it more powerful than the V6 with a range of over 600 miles. The electric drive motor is embedded in the 6-speed transmission. A shaft runs to the back wheels for optional all-wheel drive. Hyundai is targeting an average of 33 miles per gallon. For reference, Toyota Grand Highlander Hybrid scores 34. This top trim Calligraphy edition is effectively a prototype vehicle, but it shows how premium the materials will be, bumping up against Genesis. Indirect ambient light looks rich. There are relaxation seats available in the front and second row. Hyundai says materials will be soft touch across the board. I'll wait on production cars to see how it all looks at different trim levels.
This is a representation of our future interior direction for Hyundai overall, which is furnished environment inspired by furniture designs. When you look at the interior of the car, all the corners are round. All of the surfaces are soft. So when you open the car, what you're going to notice is it looks like pieces of furniture rather than very automotive kind of speed-oriented styling, for example. So this is the new kind of a form language that we're developing at Hyundai.
A segment first, available on Calligraphy.
We have a built-in dash cam that operates front and rear. So you merely swipe here, you'll take built-in camera, and then you'll be able to see live footage. Pardon the pre-production model, but you'll see front footage here and then rear footage on this side.
The mid-row will seat 2 or 3, depending on trim. Seats slide fore and aft to give those in back some love. It's what you'd expect from a rig like this. There's storage all over and USB ports that deliver up to 100 watts. I could charge my 16-inch MacBook Pro with just a cable.
New for the 2026 Palisade is that for safe exit assist, not only do you have an audible chime, but you'll get this visual as well. So if a child's trying to open the rear door, or anyone trying to open the rear door when there's oncoming traffic, you'll get an audible chime, but also this visual alert.
There's loads of other safety tech, both standard and optional. I'm going to wait for the production version to tackle that laundry list, but it's impressive. I've said time and time again that adults don't want to spend much time in the way back of three-row SUVs. This is not bad, and Calligraphy has something that I've not seen before, seats that move fore and aft so you can max out legroom or cargo room. These are also heated. I'm 5'9". I've got that much headroom. Knee and leg room is okay, and there's actually a little bit of thigh support. Again, not bad back here. Lots of cup holders and USB ports too. Should be useful. Let's move on to the XRT Pro, a new trim for Palisade. The first generation did have an XRT, but this is the XRT Pro, and Hyundai says that it really is more capable. I found the outgoing XRT to be kind of plain, especially inside, and it had no real additional trail chops over other Palisade trims. There is no XRT for 2026, only XRT Pro. These are functional, and there are new mud, sand, and snow terrain modes.
It's an inch higher, 25 millimeters higher than a standard Palisade. Then it also comes with 18-inch wheels and all-terrain tires. So we're having this be a little bit more capable off-road. So I wouldn't go rock crawling, obviously, but for people who want to go overlanding or a little bit, off the beaten path, you should be able to do that.
As far as powertrains go, XRT only gets one, the V6. This new 3.5 liter, estimated to make 287 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque, replaces a 3.8 liter that made similar power. Shifts are done with an 8-speed automatic. XRT Pro is strictly all-wheel drive. Other trims can be had with front drive.
Starting with the XRT Pro, when going up to Limited and Calligraphy, you'll actually have a factory-installed tow hitch hidden behind this panel. So it's just 2 screws, then pull off this trim piece, and then you'll have the tow hitch exposed.
Okay, and the V6 is tow rated at?
5,000 pounds for the V6.
The hybrid models stop at 4,000 pounds, but a reminder, XRT Pro is strictly a V6. XRT Pro will slot under Limited and Calligraphy. There are some differences in the cabin trim. For starters, the upholstery is from Nagas, not cows. It's called H-Tex and gets an outdoorsy pattern. Like all 2026 Palisades, there are new extra useful features.
The front of the console meets the instrument panel. There's a big storage bin actually right there. And what we heard from a lot of our female customers, moms that drive the Palisade, is that there just simply needs to be a place to drop down a large handbag. And in most cars, honestly, you don't find one. This is a feature that would make my wife the happiest.
So the XRT has a brand new off-road instrumentation. You can actually see it both in the instrument cluster, but only when you're in drive, but also here in the touchscreen. When you press this off-road traction here, but also you get your pitch and roll, and then you also get like a new trail cam. Then if you swipe, then you get your oil temp, engine temp, transmission, then you have your traction for all 4 wheels here, and your terrain mode. And then you'll be able to toggle between snow, mud, and sand. And then if you push this drive button again, it'll go back to the regular drive, eco, normal, sport, and my drive.
I've said this a million times, but if you want real cargo space, you need to move to a van, but Americans, they love SUVs. So this is pretty good, actually. No specs on storage room as of yet, but Hyundai says overall the 2026 model is more spacious. So expect more than the first generation's 18 cubic feet with all seats usable, 46 with row 3 dropped, and 86 behind the first row. Back to calligraphy, its second and third rows are powered when it comes to lowering the seat backs. Again, it's pushing towards true luxury. Hyundai says all sorts of advanced tech will be available, like digital key that works for both iOS and Android devices, plus a UV light sterilizer for phones and dropped baby binkies. I'm sure that depends on trim level. The user interface is Hyundai's latest generation, and a big win, BlueLink connectivity is free for the first owner for the life of the car. I'd love to offer up pricing, but it's not been announced. And there's that pesky tariff situation. That could change at any moment. This will be built in South Korea, after all. Driving impressions? Those will have to wait. But the engineers on hand claim it sets new standards for the class. Standard laminated glass points to a quiet ride. We'll see, but overall, this looks promising. Hope you got something out of my first look at the 2026 Hyundai Palisade second generation. A reminder that the V6 will be available starting in early summer, the hybrid in the fall. And I do need to tell you that Hyundai brought me to Los Angeles, put me up and fed me, but the information is what's most important to me, okay? Remember, subscribe to the channel, click notifications, follow me on social media. I'm on Threads and Blue Sky now, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.